6-year-old Lilly Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack have been missing since May 2nd, 2025, from their home in Gairloch Road in Lansdowne Station, Pictou County, Nova Scotia. The siblings, members of the Sipekne'katik First Nation, were initially believed to have wandered into the dense wooded area surrounding their rural home. Despite extensive search efforts, no confirmed trace of the children has been found, and the case remains an active missing persons investigation with potential suspicious elements. The initial search, involving over 160 searchers, helicopters, drones, police dogs, and the Nova Scotia Guard, covered a 5.5 square kilometer area of heavily wooded terrain. After 6 days, on May 7, 2025, the RCMP scaled back the active search, stating it was unlikely the children were alive though the investigation continues. Specific searches included the RCMP's underwater recovery team scouring local bodies of water on May 8th and 9th, yielding no evidence. A renewed search resumed on May 17, 2025, targeting specific areas around Gairloch Road with volunteers from multiple search and rescue teams. The RCMP have received over 180 tips and conducted formal interviews with 35 individuals, including community service members and those closest to the children. The Major Crime Unit and forensic investigators are involved, and the case is treated as suspicious until proven otherwise. No evidence of abduction has been confirmed, ruling out an Amber Alert. However, the RCMP is exploring all avenues, including possible criminal elements. As of May 15, 2025, the RCMP continue to follow up on tips, with additional interviews scheduled. Experts have called the case unprecedented due to the lack of evidence and the rarity of two siblings vanishing together without parental involvement. A potential footprint, which is probably a red herring in my opinion, was found on May 3rd, leading to an expanded search in that area, but no further confirmed evidence has surfaced. Well, of course, there's going to be boot prints out there. The children's mother, Malehya Brooks-Murray, and stepfather Daniel Martel have been central figures in the narrative surrounding the disappearance. Below is an in-depth look at their roles, statements, and public perception, but I'm only going to read a little bit, critically examining their involvement while acknowledging the sensitivity of the situation here. So, Mom's background: Malehya Brooks-Murray, along with Lilly, Jack, and their younger sister, Meadow, 16 months old at the time, moved to Lansdowne Station 2 years ago, settling into Daniel Martel's childhood home. She is described as an at-home mother. Now, her initial statements, which is what I want to look at here today because I had a heck of a time finding them. They're difficult to track down, but they're on CTV News, but I borrowed them from another creator. I can't believe it, number one, why you're not speaking out if you believe your child is out there. First of all, if you had 160 searchers out there and they didn't come up with your kids, the alternate isn't very nice. I would be screaming like a banshee that somebody has my fucking kids and they better post an Amber Alert. Like, this is ridiculous. So the fact that there's no Amber Alert tells me that the cops probably don't believe the parent's story. And they're telling her not to make any more public statements because the first one she said didn't sound very good, perhaps. Now, of course, that's just me talking. I can't figure out. Every time I hear parents say that they're following the police's orders and not speaking to the media and this, hello, your kids are gone. Who the fuck? Pardon me. Who cares what they say? You're going to talk to whoever or wherever to get or do whatever to get your kids back. But there's something, of course, we don't know all kinds of things about this situation. I'm just stating my initial reaction. Brooks-Murray spoke to CTV News, on May 3rd, 2025, stating she woke up on the morning of May 2nd and heard the children playing in the next room before falling back asleep. She noted the sliding back door was silent when it was opened, suggesting the children may have slipped out unnoticed. She emphasized that Lilly and Jack were not the type to go outside alone, and she and Martel typically supervised them closely. Her entire statement... Now, I'm not sure if she was under a lot of stress, no doubt. But it was circular talk. Well, how do you know that you didn't hear something? You know, it's like she was trying to insinuate. We'll look at that in a moment. Like, she just bailed out of the area. Like the day of, hours after she made a statement to CTV, she took her child and left, or she was asked to leave her home there. Like, what else? Let me see. So she expressed hope, but acknowledged a mother's fear of the worst, saying, "I want to hold them and I want them home." After the initial search, Brooks-Murray left Pictou County with her youngest child, Meadow, to stay with the family elsewhere in Nova Scotia. Her mother, Cindy Murray, stated that police advised the family against speaking to the media, limiting further public statements. It resembles something that has happened, and you just want to move on already. If your kids just wandered off, it shouldn't be very difficult to find them. When reached by Global News on May 12, 2025, Brooks-Murray reiterated that she was following RCMP not to speak further. That's crazy. You should be speaking. Social media posts have speculated about Brooks-Murray's involvement, with some questioning the timeline of events or suggesting parental negligence. For example, I won't read that. Criminologist Michael Arnfeld noted that the children's absence from school for multiple days before their disappearance due to illness and a PD day is an anomaly, raising questions about their activities in the 48 hours prior. However, no evidence directly implicates Brooks-Murray. So, on a bit of a side note as well, she states that her first instinct was to call 911. Like, this is what always baffles me. I've been in this situation a couple times, and I know that wave of panic where you know that you don't know where your kid is at that moment in time. At what point did she decide to call 911? Because Daniel states that her and her mother, or her mom and dad, searched for a long time. They searched everywhere. So they were admittedly out and about in that sense. Brooks-Murray's account aligns with RCMP's initial theory of the children wandering off. Her decision to leave Pictou County could be interpreted as seeking emotional support or avoiding media pressure, especially given the RCMP's guidance. However, the lack of detailed public statements and her absence from the search site have fueled speculation, like it should and would. Like she's hiding something. If you've truly just been victimized and you're in desperate need of a 160 search party and the RCMP to get involved, there's something more going on. If you called 911, you did the right thing. Well, where are the kids? And two of them? The way that she describes it's like somebody just came right up to the door, silently opened the door, and grabbed the kids and walked away. Which, nothing surprises me in this world. But I would be more eager to buy the story if there was an actual story to be told. The statements that they gave aren't good enough, in my opinion. They're not good enough. They speak more to the fact that you're covering something up as opposed to offering up the true details. Now, Brooks-Murray's account aligns with the RCMP's initial theory of the children wandering off. Her decision to leave Pictou County could be interpreted as seeking emotional support. We just read that. So Daniel Martel, the stepfather, is 33. He's the children's stepfather and has been Brooks-Murray's partner for 3 years. He's not the biological father of Lily or Jack, but lived with them in his childhood home in Lansdowne Station. Martel works part-time at a local sawmill with limited shifts and was home on May 2nd due to his schedule. Martel has been more vocal than Brooks-Murray, speaking to multiple media outlets. He told the Globe and Mail that on May 2nd, he and Brooks-Murray were in their bedroom with their baby when Lily came in several times and heard Jack in the kitchen. Is that true? He surmised the children exited through the sliding back door, with Lily wearing a white backpack and strawberries and Jack in a pull-up diaper and blue dinosaur boots. How does he know that? She had a backpack on? What is a kid doing with a backpack on? Just hanging out. Are you going somewhere? And why does he have blue dinosaur boots on? Are they planning on going somewhere? That's like what it's almost being insinuated. Now, Martel claimed the children were home from school due to Lily's cough and had not attended school the previous day either. He suggested they escaped the fenced-in backyard, possibly entering the nearby woods. I have such a hard time believing that. I am more apt to say somebody came up to your door and snatched them out. Because one, it's springtime. It's not that nice out, and the kids are running around, half naked. Come on. He told CBC News he immediately searched neighboring roads and culverts upon noticing the children were missing, returning to find the RCMP at the house after Brooks-Murray called 911. Well, they couldn't be too far. This is your childhood home, Daniel. You should probably know all the nooks and crannies around that little area that they could get into. Did they all of a sudden decide to scale a couple mountains that day, a 4 and a 6-year-old? I doubt it. Not without all kinds of food and cuddles from mom and dad. Kids don't naturally wander too far from their parents because they're too needy. Well, mind you, I shouldn't say that, actually, because my daughter did all the time. There's nothing funny about this, but I'm just laughing at the contradictory nature of my statement. No, I had that problem. I had a problem with a daughter who loved to just wander and she'll go in other people's houses, no problem, but she has no limits in that sense. It's different now, but at one time in her life, excuse me. So I just get so upset when I read these things. So Martel claimed the children were home from school. We read that. Martel has emphasized his cooperation with the RCMP, stating he provided his phone, allowed searches of the home and property with dogs, and requested a polygraph test, which he claims was scheduled but not confirmed by police. That's just a tool for questioning you, pal. He was interviewed by the RCMP's major crime unit for 4 hours, walking investigators through the day of the disappearance and prior days. He told the Globe and Mail, "My story has been consistent. When you tell the truth, it's always consistent." Huh. Well, unlike the RCMP's stance that there's no evidence of abduction, Martel has publicly stated he believes the children were taken, as you would. He urged police to monitor borders and airports. Listen, you're not too far from Halifax Harbour. Look at the sea containers. A request he reiterated to the Globe and Mail and CTV Atlantic. Listen, I don't know what to say about this. Martel's visibility at the search site and frequent media interactions have drawn both support and scrutiny. I'm going through with what X is saying up here. Community tensions have surfaced, with Martel reporting an argument on May 2nd where his mother had to remove people from the property who accused him of involvement. Online speculation has led to warnings from legal experts about potential cyberbullying under Nova Scotia's Intimate Images and Cyber Protection Act, as unfounded theories targeting Martel and Brooks-Murray proliferate. That's just the nature of the beast. Yes, you must not think outside the box, people. Martel's cooperation with police, including providing his phone and consenting to property searches, suggests transparency, though his instance on an abduction contrasts with the RCMP's findings. I wouldn't trust the RCMP. His detailed account of the morning aligns with Brooks-Murray's, but the lack of physical evidence, example the backpack or boots, in the searched area raises questions. The children's, like the first question it raises is, why would you mention those boots specifically? And the backpack. So obviously you've had a clear memory of them that morning. Did you help them get dressed, or did you just get themselves dressed? Were they lured out? His detailed account of the morning aligns with Brooks-Murray's, but the lack of physical evidence, we've got that. The children's absence from school and Martel's claims of their autism could explain behavioral patterns, but the 48-hour gap before the disappearance noted by experts is a point of concern. While Martel's active engagement with media could be seen as advocacy, it has also invited scrutiny. There's going to be plenty of scrutiny, particularly online, where his demeanor is debated. No evidence directly implicates him, but the RCMP's major crime unit involved indicates they are thoroughly vetting all possibilities. Listen, I've seen them. It's hard to tell. Like, there's a lot of scrutiny on what the mother has said. And when you break her statements down, it's really suspect. But that's not a guaranteed science. Okay, because there's all kinds of other factors in that moment that were affecting the way that she was answering those questions. These weren't long, detailed, thought-out answers that were recited. She didn't know what to say. She's in shock. But nonetheless, you still have to scrutinize her statements. And let me tell you, it's going to make you ask a lot more questions. Not that she's necessarily a violent individual. She just needs to warn the public if there really is a danger out there, because, well, there's always danger out there, let's put it that way, but here would be a clear danger that's active in their neighborhood. Like, what the hell is going on? Are these kids scooped up and taken to some sort of biolab in Ukraine and sucked out of all their adrenochrome? Are they in some cage somewhere? Reports indicate that after the disappearance, Brooks-Murray and Martel separated, with Brooks-Murray leaving Sipekne'katik County. Martel remained at the home, joined by his mother and brother, suggesting a possible strain in their relationship post-incident. So, they have to say something. hiding from the media in that sense. That's just my opinion, actually. In my opinion, her story in front of that camera wasn't good enough. She needs to be more visible and more active. Like, this is an emergency. Kids just don't disappear, and that shouldn't be good enough for anybody involved. But here in 2025, it seems that the more and more time goes on, instead of inviting people in an emergency to go and search in a situation like this, the RCMP wants you to stay hush hush and quiet down and let this stuff blow by, not to raise too much alarm in the public. What really happened here? The more and more I see these cases, the less and less I'm thinking that the parents are solely involved, although it's a common thing, especially when you're watching social media and YouTube and you follow these cases. Like with things that we've seen with people like Susan Smith over time. Not that I'm saying that this is anything like Susan Smith's situation, but it doesn't seem to me that it fits this scenario. Like, it seems like they were truly victimized here. From their perspective, they described what you could imagine a scenario to seem like. One minute it's noisy, the next it's not, and you go and look for your kids and they're gone, and you've never seen them again. That's a bit of an issue. They just didn't wander off. Those kids did not just wander off. So either the police don't believe their stories, and that's why they didn't issue an Amber Alert. How could you not? This is what baffles me. You get the call that her kids are missing. And this is what it's turned into. They're nowhere to be found. Your first instinct was to call 911? I thought you guys went searching first. At what point did you become panicked about the scenario? A 4 and 6-year-old. My God. They can't get very far. But you'd be surprised, I think. The children are part of the Sipekne'katik First Nation, and their maternal grandfather is a member. The community has rallied, with Chief Michelle Glasgow urging support to bring the children home. The cultural tie adds a layer of communal grief and involvement. The family lived in a rundown mobile home. Thanks a lot, guys. The family lived in a rundown mobile home bordering dense forest, with a fenced-in backyard. Inside, children's artwork and awards were noted, suggesting a nurturing environment despite economic challenges. And they cite Martel's limited work and Brooks-Murray's role as a stay-at-home mother. There's nothing wrong with that. Run down. What are you guys saying? The simultaneous disappearance of two siblings without parental involvement is rare. Artfeld noted that in similar cases, parental involvement is often evident early, but no such evidence exists here. The children's absence from Salt Springs Elementary School for multiple days, Wednesday for a professional development day, Thursday and Friday due to illness, creates a 48-hour gap where their activities are unaccounted for, which is unusual. Wouldn't that be 3 days? Thursday and Friday with the Wednesday off. Despite extensive searches, no confirmed belongings, examples Lilly's strawberry backpack or Jack's dinosaur boots, were found, which is atypical for children wandering in a confined area. Experts like Artsfeld suggest the RCMP could be more forthcoming given the public's role in providing tips, but police cite the investigation's integrity for their... Well, they're not doing so. A makeshift memorial with stuffed animals and flowers emerged at the Stellartron RCMP detachment, reflecting community grief. Why not at the house? Why not at the house? Reflecting community grief. The local First Nation and local school, Salt Spring Elementary, have provided counseling and support. Online theories, particularly on X, range from abduction to parental involvement, prompting RCMP and legal warnings about misinformation. Legal warnings about misinformation. Posts speculating about the parents having been flagged as potential harmful with possible legal consequences under Nova Scotia law. Well, maybe they are. Oh, but you can't suggest that yet. We need to control your thoughts and minds. The disappearance have shaken Lansdowne Station in Pictou County, with local leaders like Warden Robert Parker describing a tense mood, I would say. If you can't find those kids, somebody took those kids. That's a problem. Which one of you crooked son of a bitches know about it? The absence of physical evidence after extensive searches challenges the initial wandering theory. Yet the lack of abduction, not right now, but the lack of abduction evidence complicates alternative scenarios. The parents' accounts are consistent but limited by the RCMP's advice to Brooks-Murray and the speculative lens on Martel's public statements. The children's undiagnosed autism, if accurate, could explain impulsive behavior, but the 48-hour gap before their disappearance raises unanswered questions. The RCMP's major crime unit involvement suggests scrutiny of all possibilities, including those closest to the children, but no arrests or charges have been reported. You don't think that they were that poor? That they were so poor that they had to maybe sell the kids? I'm not even joking. I wonder about that sometimes. The RCMP's major crime unit involvement suggests scrutiny of all possibilities, including those closest to the children, but no arrests or charges have been reported. The case anomalies, dual disappearance, no evidence, and school absence suggest either an extraordinary coincidence or an overlooked detail. Social media speculation, while understandable given public interest, risks derailing the investigation with unverified claims. Get the hell out of here. I don't believe that for a second. Yeah, you better not come forward with any new ideas. The RCMP's focus on tips and interviews indicates a methodical approach, but the lack of breakthroughs after 2 weeks underscores the case's complexity. It'll go nowhere like all the rest. As of today, May 18th, 2025, Lilly and Jack Sullivan remain missing. With the RCMP continuing a scaled-back but active investigation, the parents, Malehya Brooks-Murray and Daniel Martel, have cooperated with police. Though their limited statements in the case's anomalies have fueled speculation, no evidence confirms abduction or parental involvement. No evidence confirms abduction or parental involvement. Well, then they just disappeared, didn't they? But the investigation treats the case as potentially suspicious. Potentially, I'd say it's fairly suspicious. The community, particularly this Sipekne'katik First Nation, I didn't even pronounce that, I butchered that, excuse me, remains hopeful for answers, while experts urge caution against online rumors. The fact that these two kids were on a native reserve, in my opinion, makes them targets. Made them targets. Potential targets. Adds a layer of questions.
Staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep, and they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them, and they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens, and they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time, and the next thing we knew, it was quiet. And we get up and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no. And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store, everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids. I appreciate the huge search effort going on right now. But we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued. Not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been, but just an alert to let everyone know that they are missing. We had people text me saying that they weren't aware someone else let them know that they were missing, and it would just be nice if everyone could be alerted. We thought maybe that we found tracks, but it's still uncertain. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they are feeling warm. We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them. They are definitely verbal, and they do have possible autism, but it's not extreme autism. It's just they have issues with school, and they don't catch up with the other kids. I just want to remain hopeful. But there's always, in a mother's mind, you're always thinking the worst. Last night was one of the worst nights because I didn't have them in their beds.